And we are live. What's up? What's up? What's up, party people, my family? Straight stage left. We are streaming live tonight with my big sister, Patricia Miles Jackson. We are here. We're going to be talking about life. We're going to be talking about living life and not being fooled, but being honest about who we are. Just an intimate conversation with my sister tonight. I'm very, very excited and honored to have her on stage left, sitting in the hot seat with me. Yes. You know, your big sis. She don't take it. I don't take anything for granted. So I'm very, very excited and I'm honored to be here. First, I need you to do a few things for me. Y'all already know what it is. Hop on over to IG, click like, follow, and share at 609 Stage Left. Then skip back on over to Facebook and just drop the 609. Drop the 609 and hit Stage Left. If you don't see your big sis face, I'm telling you, you're in the wrong place. So don't be dismayed because you will be following somebody else's lane. Listen, your big sis's face is on that. Okay, so Stage Left on Facebook at 609 Stage Left on Instagram. And if you're froggy, hop on over to YouTube and click like, follow, and share. Subscribe to your big sisters, L Vintage Poet, L'Oreal Chris Page. We are here. Y'all, we are here. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't think y'all understand how I feel when I get these kind of interviews, right? I don't think you're understanding how your big sis is excited about involving and engulfing the journeys of authors and artists and poets and singers and MCs, because that's just who I am. But this sister right here, listen, I ain't gonna tell y'all, hello, Mother Mary. Hi, Mama Mary. I know you're watching, you're smiling. Listen, sister right here, her mother was my grandmother's best friend, right? You know how I found that out? Because this is my love's god sister, right? And I didn't know. And then one day, one of Miss Patricia's sisters said to me, she said, "You look familiar. You look like somebody I know." Shout out to LaQuinta. She said, "Who you from?" And I said, "What?" I said, "Where you live at?" Just Ocean City. So Chrissy, she said, "Well, you know something? You should ask them if they know your dad." So shout out to that Jones crew from Ocean City, Freddie, Joey, and Tommy Boy. Yes, those are my babies. My father's going home with the Lord, but my Uncle Tommy, my Uncle TJ, my Uncle Joey are still hanging around, and my grandma Beulah, she home dancing with Jesus too. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, family of Stage Left, Patricia Miles Jackson. Here is the world of Stage Left. Hello, sister.
Hello. I'm so excited to be on your show. It's a pleasure. So, I'm a little nervous, but I'm looking forward to just sharing my story and having this great conversation with you.
Listen, I'm very honored and excited for two reasons. Because we've done a lot of work out in the field together. Number one, with being and I'm not a social worker, but as a sexual assault advocate, and the first time I was ever honored as being a sexual assault advocate was by Manzar, and listen, and Patricia Miles Jackson, y'all, and it was dope. It was dope, and it definitely, yes. I mean, I got a little chance to flourish some of the words and share my testimony, and but I'm really super excited about that, and I thank you, and also Tamu King, because it helped. It did my heart some justice to have sisters out there who understood who we are and what we do in this limelight, even though we've been assaulted. So that was an honor for me. So I'm honored to have you right here with me and ready to share with the world, as if you haven't already known, haven't already been doing so. You have sharing with the world your testimony. I'm grateful for all of the things that you are going through and you have gone through. Um, God doesn't take it for granted, and He doesn't take it lightly. All of who you are in His likeness and what you bring to the kingdom, you know what I mean, and what you bring to the family and His children and friends. So listen, y'all, I'm gonna read this bio, right? Because it's beautiful, it's dope. Um uh yes, we are. Okay. So I'm gonna read Pat's bio for you all in your listening ear, and I really, really hope that you all enjoy it. And listen, we're gonna talk about this book, right? The book is entitled "I Learned to Live Life to the Fullest." At the bottom it says, "Don't be fooled." Yeah, dig it. Hello, sister. What's up, brother? Good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. So here we go. Patricia Miles Jackson is the founder and executive director of Chance for a Real Change LLC, focusing on restoring and maintaining um, family relationships. Also, director of case management services for a local mental health agency. Patricia is the new local author and is a new local author, and her book is entitled "I Learned to Live Life to the Fullest. Don't be fooled." Patricia has worked in the human resources or human services field in various leadership positions and leadership roles for over 35 years. Yes. Certain individuals who had a history of substance abuse, alcohol misuse, and mental health concerns. Patricia worked for the state of New Jersey for over 14 years, providing child protection services. She worked in senior leadership roles, providing services to survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Patricia began her educational journey at Keene University, known as Keene, at Keene College, known as Keene University now, which is actually going through a merger right now. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, they get ready to go through a merger. She transferred to Lincoln University after completing 2 years and obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in sociology. Years later, she obtained a master's degree in human services from Lincoln University. Shout out to Lincoln. Yes. Patricia also currently is pursuing her doctorate degree in education, majoring in organizational leadership with an emphasis in behavioral health, something we're going to talk about. Yeah. Patricia has one daughter. Shout out to Lily. Hey, Lily. Yes. Who she is truly proud of. She enjoys focusing on self-care, which includes meditation, exercising, walking, boxing, spa days, journaling, listening to music, and reading a good book. Patricia loves spending time with family, attending church and comedy shows. Patricia is a frequent traveler. We're going to talk about that too, y'all. Hello, Pat.
Hello.
Yes. So we talk about living life and talk about, being full inside of that life. And I think that a lot of times we miscue the real fullness and the things that we go through, right? So, and this is why I'm excited about having you on tonight, because we also get an opportunity to really explore some of the things that we go through heartedly and mentally that we don't really talk about. We close the doors on, you know what I mean? So tell us, why this title? Why the title? Y'all see the title? Y'all see it? It's a little. All right. Why I learned to live life to the fullest and don't be fooled. Why that title?
Why that title? I believe years ago, I would say dating back to 2018, I would tell people, I'm going to write a book. Don't be fooled. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I didn't have the words on paper, but I knew I wanted to focus on don't be fooled. Mm-hmm. We have one life to live. Let's live to the fullest. And it's so easy to just be existing instead of living our best life, a life of peace, a life of joy. And I wanted to focus on my journey, my experiences, on when I realized, hey, you're not really living life to the fullest, and when change needed to be made. And my cover of being on the beach, of course, I love the Caribbean's islands, and every chance I get, I just want to be on somebody's island somewhere. So
oh, that's right. You almost make me want to jump into the bags when I hear pack on. She going where? She going to cruise on a plane? What?
Yes,
come back and get me. Pack me in a bag.
Yes.
So,
I could,
the cover really intrigued me, as you stated. Don't be fooled, but you have the palm trees, and the sandy beaches and the blue water. Why not be fooled? Are we missing something there?
I think sometimes people think because you're traveling, you're happy when they see you, and you have a job that, you have a booming career, you have a family, you have a supportive family. They think you're living your best life. But a lot of times people don't know that people are going through some things. That's why it's so important that we check in with our family members. And we don't just go through the motions of, hey, how you doing? And they say, oh, I'm doing great, when they're really not doing great. So,
that's true.
The palm trees, even though I love the beaches, it's just a reminder that life is not always paradise, but it's how we maneuver through life, of how we can live our best life.
Yes, I understand that. I concur. And it's sometimes I think we don't want people to know. We don't want people to know. That ain't me. Y'all see me? I got my bags packed and I'm smiling. But let's talk about that not knowing and versus hiding versus not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Because we hide as those who are going through it, but then others don't really know. Yeah. And we don't give them the know-all.
I think back to some of my experiences, and I can think of several reasons why people don't always tell, and especially in my experience, that I think sometimes we're so busy helping others that we think, oh, they don't want to hear about my stuff. They don't want to hear about my problems. Let me make sure they're okay, instead of focusing on our own self-care. I also think, and I have a friend we often talk about how people allow pride to stop them from being the best them. And that's important too. Some people, including myself, they don't want to share. They're embarrassed. They want to keep it a secret, what's going on in their life. They want to keep it a secret because they don't want anybody to know, of course. So, and some people just think people don't care.
Yeah. That's an important factor. That's definitely an important factor. When we think people don't care. And I think sometimes our preconceived notions, Mama always say it's how you perceive a thing. When you think it's one thing and it's really the total opposite. Exactly. Right. And then we fail to realize that people really do want to reach in and help, but
they want to know.
Like, yeah. But we got some of those folks that got some kings and queens. They tell you business and be across the river before you even get it out in full sentences. You're like, wait a minute, I thought you was here to help me. So I think it's a part of also our discernment. Yes. You know what I mean? It's discerning, like, okay, who should we really talk to? Because God, man, and I hear people say this all the time. No, we just talk to God. We do, but He would not have placed people in our lives if He didn't want us to have someone we could build that confidence in. You know what I mean?
And I've been blessed with an amazing family and friends. Yes. And my friend circle is small, and I have some amazing friends and family that I know I can tell them to. But it's funny that you say talk to God. I always remember my mom would always tell us growing up, if you want to tell somebody something and you don't want the world to know, you better just tell it to God. And I always think about that.
Oh,
If you tell it to him, he gonna keep it. He gonna keep that to
yeah,
himself.
absolutely, absolutely. Sunshine said, "Hey y'all, hey
Hey,
girl, hey." Oh man. And Sean said self care is the key. Absolutely, we definitely agree with that. We become so boggled down and so overwhelmed with life.
mhm.
I mean, that's work, health, family,
Yes.
everything. You know what I mean? Just bills, just bills.
Ooh, yeah. And they
But
don't
we
stop
no, no, they don't stop
coming. They don't
coming.
stop coming.
Please. But we don't take the time, and I'm grateful for the fact that you're talking about going on these vacations, and but I heard you say some things in the book read right at the release, and it never dawned on me that whoa, it, Pat was hiding, you know what I mean? But I really want you to talk about, the some of the reasons that you actually did go on vacations or go off to stay, make it feel, as Lily say, we made it feel like we was on vacation.
Well, you I believe one thing that I shared in the book reading is that I was like living a life of fear. So
Mm,
with don't be fooled. Fooled stands for fool is not the word fooled. Fool,
right.
the F stands for don't live a life of fear. Don't be oblivious to life and people's intention for you.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
be overbearing. Don't
Hmm.
be, and today I am going to say this word correct today. Don't be oh my goodness, lackadaisical. Don't,
Lackadaisical.
yes, don't be embittered and don't
Mm,
deceive yourself. So it's so,
wow.
so important
Interesting.
that people don't deceive themselves. And I have been
Mm,
deceiving myself, living a life of fear for over 20 years. And
wow.
it just happened. I would say it just came about. I'm sure it was things that I ignored in my past that brought on those fears. But one of the vacations that my daughter she laughs about is she thought we were just taking a little mini vacation. Well, I lived a life of fear. I was fearful, and those who know me, they know I was fearful of driving. I was fearful of going over bridges. I was fearful. I was fearful of many things, but one thing that I didn't really want to acknowledge as a fear, I was fearful
Mhm.
of even being home in the evening time. Now I can
Wow.
be at home by myself all day and nothing. It was no issue. But at nighttime, fear it kicked in. And I
Wow.
remember even when I was married and my husband was home sleeping, I would be fearful and
Mhm.
I would be up making jokes that I'm on duty. I'm making sure everybody else is asleep and I'm wide awake. And I don't know whether that was because of many jobs that I've had where people have told me horror stories of
Mhm.
people breaking into their home and doing things to them and their family, or movies that I've watched. And I'm sure
Mm,
we've all had our share of horror movies. So
yes.
I would I ended up getting a divorce, and me and my daughter we were often home at
Mhm.
night, and I could if I couldn't stay up, we would go to hotels and we would rack up on all the reward points, and I would stay at those hotels just so I could get the rest that I needed. And that's not living a real quality of life because I didn't tell anybody we were going to those
Mm,
hotels. But Aaliyah thought we were going to hotels just on vacations because we often traveled all around the world, but those local hotels, she thought those was on vacations too. And I lived a
wow.
life of fear for years in my
Mm,
own home, not sleeping in my own bed, sleeping downstairs on the couch. And finally, thank you, Bruce. Finally, one finally, I realized that I wasn't living life to the fullest. I'm
mm,
losing sleep. It was impacting me physically and mentally and emotionally on how I responded to work,
yes.
how I responded to people. Um, Living a life of fear is something
Mhm.
that people don't always talk about, but it's so
Wow.
many different things that people can be fearful of. And I list a whole group of different fears that people have all around the world that they don't often talk about.
And let's talk about that because there's a lot of phobias on there.
Yes, yes,
But
I definitely have a lot of phobias.
here's the part of that when we're talking about the fear. Many people won't talk about their fears because they feel like if somebody knows, they might
Mm-hmm.
attack it. But
Yeah.
we place ourselves in those boxes and we become what the fear is because we allow it to over us, right? And I
Yes.
heard you say you were afraid to drive over bridges, right? Years ago, my mom and my aunt took me back to college and drove over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Oh wow, the long
And
bridge.
right. And my mama let my aunt drive. I tell you, I put my head down the whole time. I said, Mom, if you don't get in the driver's seat and get her into the passengers, and it was pouring rain. And I was
Ooh.
like this the whole time. Please, Lord, if you get me out of this, I'm
Mm.
but from that, it stemmed me being afraid to drive over bridges for years.
Yes.
And I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
my license, but I would not. I'll go the long way around. Y'all want to go where? Okay, sure. We go to scenic route. Route 9 is my friend.
Oh, mine too. Mine
But
too.
it resonated in me, and I laughed when you said that. I chuckled. I'm like, oh, now me, I'll be flying over a bridge. I got to get there. I ain't
Yeah.
looking to the right, to the left, or the side. I'm gone. See you.
Yes, and I'm so
But
happy today. I can actually say those fears I no longer have. I had to do to put
yeah,
in the work so things could
come
be
on now.
different. And I think of and I know I'm not. We didn't talk about me doing a reading, but I wanted to read one of the quotes that are in my book. If you
Absolutely.
continue to
Please.
carry the bricks from your past, you will end up
Mm,
building the same house, which is an
wow.
anonymous author. But I could no longer do the same things in many areas of my life if I really wanted something different. So I had to put in the work, which included
Mhm.
reading God's word about fears and just really working on myself and just facing those fears. And I can actually
Yes.
tell you, I actually jump on the expressway. I know many of my old DCPMP work co-workers are on here, and they know I don't drive past probably 20 miles an hour. I'm on there actually catching myself. Oh my goodness, I'm doing 70 miles an hour now. I get on the
What?
parkway and I sleep at night, whether I'm home alone or someone's here, and I sleep comfortably in my bed. So I'm just blessed that
Amen.
transformation happened because it does. Like I said, fears can impact you physically
Yes.
and emotionally and mentally, and how you
Yes.
respond. It affects how you respond to life and people because you're
People.
irritated because you didn't get any sleep.
I know. Yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. That sleep is something else. That's a whole nother monster. Especially when you lose an hour.
Yeah. Yes, yes. We did lose an
So
hour.
we're talking about your book and what was the writing process like? Did you start and finish all the way through, or was it emotional each time you ran into, as you just talked about the bricks, sometimes those fears, those things, and challenging yourself, look, I'm not gonna be this no more, but I'm gonna let it be known that it was me going through it. So what was the journey like in writing?
The journey for writing for me, it really began for self healing for me. It wasn't that I was writing a book, because the
Right.
last thing, again, that I want anybody to know about my stuff, about
Yeah.
my story.
Yeah.
So I will say I began writing, journaling, just writing
Mm,
about the transformation because I wanted to be a better me. I wanted to live a quality of life. I wanted
yes.
to really be sure that I'm living out my purpose.
Mm,
So I had to question myself, well, what is my purpose? Because I'm just so busy. My purpose is so many different things. That's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Come on.
And you can't really live out your true purpose if you're not a healthy person. So I had to
Mm,
begin to focus on me. And first, I really believe that the first thing started with me writing was when I was trying to transform physically by eating better, working out, losing weight, trying to just be better physically. And then during that time, walking and exercise, that's when I really realized, hey, you're not just transforming physically, because that includes everything. You're focusing on your mindset, your spiritual, your mindset, everything. So everything was transforming, and I was writing it down. And then as I would reflect back to what I was journaling, I remember two friends saying, Pat, you got a testimony to tell. You need to tell somebody. And I said, you know what? I said I was going to write that book, Don't Be Fooled. And it all came together. And even though a large chunk of all the things I wrote, I didn't add into the book, but it just all fell into place of different areas of my life, of how I lived a life of fear, how I was overbearing to people, how I was oblivious to people's intentions for me, how I was lackadaisical, how I was lazy to certain things, making excuses, blaming people, and then how I was embittered, how I was holding on to bitterness that I should have let go of a long time ago. And it's important that you do it for yourself, not for the other people. And then I had to focus on how I was deceiving myself, thinking I was being the best me, helping others and living out my potential. And then it all came together. So I sat down and I put it together, and it didn't even take long. It all just flowed. It didn't take long. And here we are today.
Let's talk about those anxieties, right? Because I find that a lot of us have anxieties in specific areas, but we don't know what it is, right? So we'll ignore some of the telltale signs, whether we break out in a cold sweat, whether our heart is racing, whether we're hiding behind the curtains, or we're like, nah, I'm not coming out for like 3 or 4 days, or we're not eating. What are the things, especially coming through that time, fear, and then having that anxiety set in? What are some of the things that you worked on to try to push that anxiety away?
I would say some of the things that I did, I had to just admit that I had anxiety, because of course, when we working in the field of human services, we feel like we're helping others. We're okay. We don't always identify some of the things we need to work on with ourselves. So I had to first acknowledge that I had fears and I had anxieties, because a lot of people, like I said, we don't want to focus on ourselves. So I believe that meditation, I know that reading the Bible helped me.
Come on now.
Yeah. Oh, that really helped. Oh, I have, as a friend of mine calls it, toolboxes. I have so many different toolboxes of scriptures, my go-to scriptures that I need to reflect to. Now, I will tell you today, sometimes I forget those scriptures and I don't go back to them, but I have that toolbox that I know that's my go-to. Now, sometimes I forget, no, I'm going to do it this way. Then I realize, nope, you should have went back to your toolbox. So I have my toolbox of scriptures and prayer, exercising, talking to family, just listening to music, taking long walks because I love to walk. I even started doing a light run, I'll say. I won't say running, a light jog, we'll call it that. And those things have helped give me a sense of peace.
Okay. That's a beautiful situation, first of all, because when you can draw back, or I like to call it when you can win back the things that you feel like kind of got away from you, and you challenge yourself. Look, you know what? Let's fix this right now. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm just gonna do it. I ain't even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna do it. And then when people see you intricately adding little things and changing so many rules and regulations to your toolbox, add more tools to your toolbox,
Yes.
and they wonder like, wow, what really happened? But I really appreciate the fact that you said, listen, I had to really like challenge myself
Yeah, because
and pray.
I normalize that behavior of having those
Yeah.
fears. So,
Mm,
and we
mm,
often do that. I actually thought that's how I was going to live out the rest of my life, just being
wow.
fearful, like this, making jokes about it. Like, I'm on duty tonight. I didn't get any sleep. No, that's not good. So, driving over bridges, taking the long way to work, an hour
Yes.
and a half, and I I had to make some significant changes to be a
Mm,
better me and really live my life out to the fullest, especially
yeah.
driving the long way to work. Like I'm spending my whole day driving to work and driving to work. Yes, Chantal, I do a light run.
I got some other folks on here for you.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And that's important though, that change does take over and helps us to become effectual and what we know we kind of need to fix and what we change. I've learned that and I'm much younger, than a lot of people realize, but I've learned that even through a lot of my trials, that things start to win over you. You know what I mean? Give yourself over to those things, the anxiety, that fear, that bitterness, that anger, all of them phobias, we start to give ourselves over because we feel like they've become an essential part of our toolkit when they're just weighing it down. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So you know
Yes.
how being just digging through the toolbox and throwing stuff out. That's when we think about it in Christ, it's cleaning our house. It's
Yes.
cleaning out the things that are unnecessary that weigh us down. And so I'm grateful for you expressing your testimony and talking about cleaning out, changing those things.
Yes.
Changing those things is essential. So we want you to read a little bit more. Can we get you to read a little bit more?
Oh, sure. Sure.
All right. All right.
Sure. Okay.
You have some interesting. First, let me plug this. Ladies and gentlemen of Stage Left, brothers and sisters of the global nation, I need y'all to go out there and purchase this book, please, because it is an amazing read. It is really, really good, and it speaks to a lot of the things that we are going through and a lot of the things that we're fearful of talking about, those perceptions, those fears, those phobias, how to break away from that abuse and the things that we go through on a daily. And yet this is Sister Pat's, this is Pat's Patricia's testimony. So we want you to go out there and purchase I Learned to Live Life to the Fullest. But don't be fooled. Go on and get it. It's on Amazon, yes. Can you hear me, Pat?
Yes. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
Amazon. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's on Amazon. Yes, it's on Amazon. And it will
And
soon be in your local stores.
uh, look at God. It
Yes.
will soon be in
It
your
will
local
soon be on your
vicinity.
local stores. And you can
Yes.
always reach out to me on Facebook or on my website, Chance for a Real Change 2014.org, or my Facebook page, Author Patricia Miles Jackson, because I do have copies if you'd like to get a signed copy of my book.
Yes. So y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard it. If you want your book signed, stamped, sealed, and delivered, I need you to reach out to Pat and make sure that you get your copy. Even if you go on Amazon, she says she will sign it for you. So, which is dope. It's a dope read. I see you, Bruce. I got you. It's coming, okay? It's coming. I ain't gonna put that question up there yet. Um, go ahead. Bruce on here going to ham. So go ahead and let us know what you want to read for us.
Okay, I am going to read. I think I want to. I'm going to read chapter 9. Don't deceive yourself. For
Okay.
over 30 years, I walked through life with a smile on my face, convincing myself that I was living fully. I prioritized helping others, putting their needs ahead of my own, and telling myself that this was fulfilling. But deep down, I was deceiving myself. Self deception is the act of believing false narratives about your life, ignoring the truth staring you in the face. For years, I told myself I was doing all I could to improve my health while inconsistently working out, eating poorly, and neglecting my mental well being. I wanted the rewards without the work, fooling only myself. I justified every poor choice, skipping workouts, indulging in unhealthy foods, or overbooking my schedules. I claimed I was too busy or too tired. The truth was, I wasn't prioritizing myself. I began to recognize patterns, self deception also plagued my relationships. I clung to the hope that toxic people would change, even when their actions proved otherwise. I minimized their bad behavior, sacrificing my needs, and drained my energy trying to fix them.
Mm, 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 mm. Bruce, I am gonna put that up there. Bruce said this is his favorite chapter. I sacrifice my energy.
Yes,
Wow. And that's something
yes.
we
Mhm.
sacrifice who we are just to please others. My
Yes, yes. I'm going to read a little more. It wasn't until I set boundaries, recognized my worth, and
mm,
committed to consistent self care that I began to break free. Toxic
mm,
relationships had no place in my life anymore. I stopped making excuses and started taking accountability. Breaking free from self deception requires
mm.
honesty, discipline, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truth. I started
Wow.
embracing healthier habits, focusing on goals, and letting go of negative influence. Yeah.
Ooh. You know what? First of all, how important to those of you out there, how important is that part to just let things go that don't inhibit or complement the person in you, the better you, the person that wants to not hide, the person looking to how important is that? And we do it all the time because we want to, you know what I mean? We save face with people and we don't know how to tell people, listen, maybe this journey ain't for you. That's that's good. I'm just feasting off of that
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
It's so many times that we just deceive ourselves,
mm.
especially even with the book also includes toxic relationships, an abusive relationship that I was in,
Yeah.
and how I deceived myself thinking the person could change. How
Mm,
I deceived myself thinking I'm not going to let anybody know. I'm not going to
wow.
tell my family. Nobody really wants to hear because I always remember one day I went to it was some event at a church, and we were talking about domestic violence, and I recall someone saying, I wish a man would put their hands on me, you know,
Wow.
that kind of conversation. And I couldn't see myself in an abusive relationship. And then I shared, well, believe it or not, I'm in a senior leadership role at
Mm,
a foreign agency that provides domestic violence and sexual assault services. And I found myself to be in an abusive relationship. I
wow.
minimized that abusive relationship, thinking, oh, it only happened once or two times, but one time is too many. So it's
Yes.
important that we don't deceive ourselves to think somebody will
Mm,
change.
that's true. That's very true. And I'm glad that you said that. Speaking of domestic violence, this is at an all-time high right now.
Yes.
And we see it more amongst young women and teenagers. Um, it never dawned on me that we would have this conversation with middle schoolers
Mm-hmm.
or high schoolers. You know what I mean? The norm now is to, oh, it's not, because if he's doing that now, next time is going to be, or could be, possibly be, something more drastic. And so, what do you tell women out there that are going through? How do you explain to them listen, you don't have to go through this.
Well, I do have some information in my book about women who may be experiencing be in a abusive relationship, and it's so important for them to realize that it's not their fault. It's so important for them to realize that they are not alone, and there's help out there. And it's something. It's being that you talked about, the young people. It's so important that I often like to work with the youth, and I often go into the schools with Bruce, since he is on here with Cooper Wellness Coaching. And we do a lot of workshops in the schools because we want the youth to know about red flags, recognize those red flags. And they often, some may think those red flags are like a compliment. Oh, he likes to see my phone. Oh, we had to sit up all night looking at each other. Oh, he said he's going to kill me, and they think it's a joke. And then, oh, he just pushed me. Oh, he was choking me. He was playing. It's not a game. Your life is not a game. And in my book, I describe behaviors. I describe behaviors of being in an abusive relationship and how to break the cycle. And it's so important. I have, let me see, I talk about an abusive relationship that I was in and how I felt like in my own home, I was walking around on eggshells. And I describe some of the dynamics of abuse and how some of the things that people may not recognize and they normalize, but they're red flags. And it was so important for me that I had a family I could confide in and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. And then after I told them, it was no turning back. It was no turning back. It was no turning back. For others, the abuser isolates them from their family because they may think, oh, she's going to go back to him. He's going to go back to her. We're not going to get involved. They're two adults. They'll work it out. And they don't know that that's a cry for help because it's a cry for help. So it's important that they find their voice and that they reach out to get the help that they deserve, because nobody should live a life of being abused. So often I think people think we can fix people, but they have to realize they got to stop thinking about how they can fix them. And
that's true.
It's important that they get themselves safe. So I do have in my toolbox the National Domestic Violence Hotline number in my book. And I encourage people to speak out, to call their local resources, because there are resources out there.
You said it's called the National Domestic Violence.
Okay, let me find it. The National Domestic Violence Hotline. And that number is 1-800-799-7233. And each when they call that hotline number, it will direct them to the agency that provides domestic violence and sexual assault services in their community. Like with Atlantic County, it is Avanzar. Cape May County is Cara. So in every county, especially here in New Jersey, there is a hotline that they can call, and those services are available 24/7. If they just want someone to listen to them, there's somebody that they can talk to. If shelter is needed, relocated, or they just want to try to come up with a safety plan to just talk about how they can stay safe in their home. Because I think a lot of people may think when they call those numbers, the person is going to be judgmental or try to tell them, you need to leave. Sometimes people can't leave, and they can't leave for different reasons. So until they're ready to leave, it's important that they safety plan. So calling those hotline numbers are helpful.
And you said 1-800-799-7233, correct?
That is, yes,
okay.
723, that is correct.
Okay. It is on here, everybody. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is up. I actually just, there you go, posted it. There you go. Boom. So what I need you all to do is you have people that are in your local vicinities, anybody that you may need that information. Nothing hurts with just passing along the information and making sure that people are safe and that they have somebody that they need to advocate for them, or someone they need to talk to. So there is the National Domestic Violence Hotline information, 1-800-799-7233. Miss Patricia Miles Jackson just gave it to us, and we're grateful for that. Hello, Mr. Jones. Hello. My barber's on here, so let me shout him out, okay? Because he gets a little tense when I don't say hi. But thank you all for definitely tuning in and getting this information. Please share it. Um, Thank you, Patricia. Miss Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Thank you for offering up your time, your precious time tonight, coming on to interview with us and talk so in depth in about your book, your new book, and the things that you're going through, and giving that insight on how to talk about the things that you're afraid of, and anxieties, and the moments that you know you need to freelance change. You know what I mean? And not to be afraid to go out there and get it. We thank you. We understand what it feels like, and we're grateful to have someone to come express it even more. The importance of going and becoming free, to be able to be free. You know what I mean? That's important. Also, I wanted to say one more thing. Thank you for the scripture text that you posted inside of the book, inside of the pages. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because some people don't know the scripture text, but it added more context, more depth, and more love to these pages, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, y'all, if you missed it, you can go back and rewind, fast forward, rewind, and share. Patricia Miles Jackson. I learned to live life to the fullest. Don't be fooled. Author and advocate, social worker, Chance for a Real Change LLC. Listen, we are here, and all of this information is available for you. And we want you to know that there's someone out there that's willing to help and put themselves in your shoes to get you where you need to go, to put them in your path. Okay. Now, Miss Pat, will you please give us the information for a Chance for Real Change?
Okay, Chance for a Real Change. My website is of course www.chanceforrealchange2014.org.
www.
And there's also a link on the website for my book. So even if you can't remember the name or where you can purchase, if you go on the website, there's a link that directs you directly to Amazon.
I cannot. Oh, okay. So I'm a little slow.
Take your time.
And okay, you said www. Chance for Real Change
2014.
Okay. .com.
.org.
.org. Okay. Okay, y'all. LLC information is up there, and the website. You can go on and get all the information that you need. Please, again, don't hesitate to share it. When I tell you, Patricia Miles Jackson has great info, great insight, and we definitely helped out as much as we can, and have been to many opportunities or many events that she's had. Listen, you can get more than enough information and more than enough help. So please Rewind my selector. I'm done with you, Michael. But please definitely look up a chance for a real change. And if you know families, if you yourself are looking for help and need help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay? And we thank y'all for tuning in. What a
Thank
blessing
you.
y'all are. Yes. Go copy your book. Go get your book, okay? Because you can't have mine. Don't ask me. No, don't say, yo, can you let me spot check and read? No, because I'm gonna say no. Because I need my copy for me. So please, by all means, go get your copy and make sure that you bless this sister for her wise words and for sharing her testimony. It's not easy. It's not easy, but we do it because we love you, and we love everything about life and
Yes.
putting it into your hands so that your perception is grown, so that you're not living in fear and you're not in bondage. Word.
Yes.
Miss Pat, thank you.
Thank you.
It was a whole vibe, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. It was a great conversation, and I just appreciate you allowing me to just join you tonight.
Yes, thank you. Listen. I'm 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 still gloating because I just knew you was going to deck out on me and be like, no, I'm not coming. Pew.
I told you I was ready to say, "Oh, I can't hear. My volume is leaving me. It's not working." Disconnect. But no, I am. I wouldn't have missed this today. Yes, I was a little nervous. I am a little shy. Others may not believe that, but I was. I wasn't sure what to expect, but this was a great conversation, and I am so glad just to be here with everybody today.
Amen. Amen. Listen, y'all already know what to do. Going over, Miss Pat, please give them the information on how to follow you, how to catch up with you. Um,
I'm
I know you.
only I only have do have a author's page on Facebook. It's author Patricia Miles Jackson. You can follow me on Facebook, and at that time I also include some other great things that are going on in the community and some of the other things that I'm doing and projects that I'm working on. I have a book signing coming up March 21st in Ocean City. And so if you don't order your copy, on Amazon or reach out to me at Shiloh Baptist Church in Ocean City, we are going to be having another book signing at 6:00 on March 21st. So I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody that night as well. So
Yes.
just keep
We're
being
gonna
amazing, everyone.
we're gonna post it up on StageLeft. We're gonna post it up on my regular page so you guys can have it. And be able to come out and get your signed and autographed copies, right? So if you don't order and pre-order them on Amazon, you might be able to pick up a few at the next book signing. So don't
Yeah.
be afraid. March 21st, 6 p.m., correct?
6 p.m. at Shiloh Baptist Church in Ocean City.
Yes, going over the bridge, my
Yes.
people. Over to OC and go on and enjoy this book signing. We expect to see you. Yeah, it's gonna be a dope time. I'm definitely going to come back out
Yes.
because I just love dialogue and seeing people's face when they ask you these questions. But thank you all for tuning in. Going over to A Chance for a Real Change 2014.org, www.achanceforarealchange2014.org, and help us get some women and children and young ladies and brothers
Yes.
off the floor,
Yes.
off their feet, and helping them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
With Chance for a Real Change, we provide of course, supervised visitations for the
Yes.
non-custodial parents with their children. We provide parenting, co-parenting classes. We facilitate workshops. We provide services for veterans, aggressive drivers, anger management classes. We provide a host of services.
See
And
now,
it's
y'all?
not just for people in New Jersey. We've had people come from out of state for our services. And since 2014, Chance for a Real Change, we're still thriving. And we look forward to providing those services for those parents who want to maintain healthy relationships with their children or restore relationships.
Mm, yes. So y'all heard it. Go and get them services. Don't be ashamed. We all go
Yes.
through some things. Go and get them services and get your family back up and running and where your heart wants it to be. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost and love. You feel me? Yes. So y'all check us out. We're not going anywhere. This is what Stage Left is about, bringing you the hearty journeys of many authors, artists, politicians, fans, the community endeavor. You name it, we here for it. Hop on over to IG, click like, follow, share at 609 Stage Left. Then jump back over to Facebook and just drop the 609 and just touch on Stage Left. If you don't see your big sis face, you know you in the wrong place.
That's
I
right.
just love saying it. I just love saying it. But I love y'all. Thank y'all for being the dopest audience out here this evening. Congrats to Miss Patricia Miles Jackson, and thank
Thank
you all
you.
for sharing in this limelight, this word, and this love tonight. And thank you for purchasing. I'm thanking you in advance for purchasing a
Yes,
book
yes.
tonight. Yes. So we love y'all. I'll enjoy y'all evening. Thank y'all for banging out with us tonight.
Good night,
We love
everyone.
you. Stage Left. Your big sis. We out.